In Parshas Vayetze, when Yaakov Avinu is coming close to Haran, the pasuk tells us that he sees a be'er basada, he sees a well in the field. And as he sees this well, he sees gathered around Shlosha Edrei Tzon. He sees 3 flocks of sheep that are gathered around this well. And the Torah explains to us that the reason is because they were hanging around because there is a big stone on top of the well. And they were waiting for enough people to come in order to lift the stone off. So Yaakov walks over to these shepherds and he says to them, Achai, my brothers, Me'ayin Atem, where are you from? So they respond, they say, we're from a place called Haran. Yaakov says, bingo! Haran, do you know of Lavan ben Nachor? Their response is, of course we know him, and not only do we know him, but here comes his daughter Rachel. So at that moment, Yaakov's response to the individuals, obviously he must have been happy that Rachel was coming. He now saw a relative. But before she comes, Yaakov's response to these shepherds is the following. He says to them, Hein od hayom gadol. The day is still early. It's still young. The day is still young. Why is it that you're bringing in the mikneh? You're gathering in your sheep. You're no longer shepherding your flock. Why are you putting everyone to bed? Hashku atzon ulchuru. Go and give them water and let them go out to pasture. So they explained to him, they said, look, the reason is because there's a big stone that's covering the well. And it's so big that we can't pick it up ourselves in order to give water to our sheep. So we're waiting for everybody else to come so that we can pick it up and take it off together. So Rashi explains to us that Yaakov was basically saying to them, look, if you're schirei yom, if you're day workers, you can't just hang around here because the owners of these sheep, the people who you're working for, expect you to work for every moment. And you're just lazing around. So you can't just do that. You're stealing from the people who hired you. And then he basically says, well, the other possibility is if you're not day workers, but these sheep actually belong to you, well then, the day's not over. You still have more that you can do. So in the end, Rachel comes, and as soon as Yaakov sees Rachel, the pasuk tells us that Yaakov goes and he lifts up, Vayagel es ha'even me'al pia be'er. He lifts up all by himself that which would have taken a number of individuals to do. He lifts up the big rock off of the well, and Vayashk es tzon lavan achimo. And he ends up giving to drink to the tzon, to the flock of Lavan, who was his uncle. So the question really jumps out to us and says, why was that Yaakov's response? Why didn't Yaakov say, okay, you know what, could you help me now? Let's take off the stone now that I'm here. Let's give it a shot together. Instead, Yaakov decides when he sees Rachel that he's going to pull it off himself. So the Imri Emes asks a question. He says, why did he do that? Was Yaakov trying to show these shepherds that he was so strong? He was trying to show them that he could do what they couldn't do? So the Imri Emes suggests, and I think it's very beautiful, that yes, without question, once Yaakov saw Rachel, he had the impetus, he had the desire to make sure that he was capable to help in giving water to his uncle's flock. But there was more to it. Yaakov was trying to teach, to give a lesson to these shepherds. He wanted to try to teach them that you have to try in life. And that even if sometimes you think you don't have the koach, you don't have the strength to lift up the rock, to lift up the stone, because it appears to be too big, don't sit down and fold your arms. Just keep on trying, because you may surprise yourself as to what it is that you're capable of doing. That's what Yaakov wanted to teach these shepherds. They concluded just by looking at the stone that they couldn't do it by themselves. They needed to wait for more and more people, and they were wasting their own time. Yaakov says, don't waste time. Don't think you're incapable. Just try. It could be that you're not able to do it, but at least try. At least give it an attempt. And I think that's something which is a very powerful message to us in life, because there are so many times in our own personal lives, in our own interpersonal relationships, when we have to try and we say, I can't. I've had enough. I can't. I know I'm not capable. I know I can't do it. I know myself. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. I can't do it. Says the Imri Emes, Yaakov Avinu taught us that a Jew must always try. And if we sincerely and truly try, then we might be surprised by what it is that we're able to accomplish. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.